Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make my reversible Sucre bracelet. This is a 6-bar wide design and I did change it so that you guys can make it on the Mega Loom if you have it. One thing I do want to say is the band count will be different if you use the Mega Loom because I'm going to just set up 6 bars wide on my regular loom, and the Mega Loom is a little bit bigger, so you will need a little more than the band count I'm giving if you do use that. I also want to give a big shout out before I continue and say thank you to Abigail, also known as Doggy in the Pound. She was the one that inspired me to name our last bracelet Huntrix, which was Sophie's design for her birthday. But she left a comment asking for a K-pop demon hunters inspired bracelet, and that's why we named it Huntrix. So thank you, Abigail, and hello. Alright guys, with that being said, for today you will need 156 bands. That includes 29 of this white border. You need another 30 for the extension, 23 of the glow purple, 22 of the glow orange, 22 of the glow green, 20 of the jelly purple, and 10 of a cap band color that hides inside. You don't really see that a whole lot. So with that being said, you need one C-clip, your hook, and I will show you guys the loom setup. So to get started, you're either going to set up your regular loom with 6 bars in this staggered setup. Make sure you pay attention to this because it's not symmetrical. Or you're going to use the Mega Loom. If you use the Mega Loom, there is 7 bars on this, so you would have to ignore the bar furthest to the left. If you do that, our looms will be exactly the same. So I'm going to put the Mega Loom to the side. I'm just used to working with this one. And we're going to go ahead and start choosing our first set of bands, which for me is going to be the white and the glow purple. So white is the first color that I'm going to lay, and I'm going to lay the first one across the 2 center pins. That'll be for closing it later. Then we're going to bring it backwards and then downwards. We're going to come over here and lay the left side, which is a little bit different. We're just going to go diagonal to the left 2 times. Like that. So now we're going to start laying zigzags. I'm just going to work on the right side for now. I'm going to grab my second color, which is the glow purple. We're going to bring it in. Then we'll go back to my white and bring it out. Back to my purple and bring it in. And out. And we will keep doing that zigzag all the way down with these 2 colors. You're going to go all the way down the loom until you reach the last pin on the second row. So not the first row. Once you reach the last pin on that second bar in, that's when you will stop. And I'll show you what mine looks like when I get down there. So you can see where my last one ended right there. Do not bring it in and connect it to that last one on the end. So we're going to come back to the beginning and we're going to lay the left side. So we're going to start the same way. I'm going to grab my glow purple and we're going to bring it in. I'm going to turn my loom so I don't blur my camera out. And we'll start zigzagging the same way, alternating these 2 colors. Now for this side, we are going to be stopping at the second to last pin on both the first and the second row in. So once you have 1 empty pin left on each, that's when we are done laying that. And this same rule applies whether you are using 1 loom setup or 2 loom length setups. So go ahead and get these zigzag laid and I'll show you mine when I get down there. Okay, so I'll be a little bit ahead of you, so hit the pause button. But here you can see where my last one was laid right here. So there's an empty pin on both of these 2 rows. So make sure our ending looks the same. That is important. I did go ahead and push these inner rows down some just to give us some more room. We're going to come back to the beginning and choose a few of our next colors. So the first one that we're going to choose is going to be this glow orange. And then the second one is going to be the glow green that sits down in there. So for the glow orange, we're going to come up to the 2 center rows right here, and we're going to lay them straight. We're going to be alternating 3 different colors soon. So after you lay that straight, grab your second color, which is the glow green I just showed you. And we're going to come to the top of where the orange is and lay a diagonal glow green, but going kind of downwards. Like so. Go back to the orange and lay that straight. And this is where you're going to start to see the repeat of the sequence. So we'll lay the orange going straight. Now we're going to incorporate another color, which is my purple jelly. We're going to come back to where the glow green was connected, like in the middle of those two oranges, and that's where our purple is going to go. And that's going to go diagonal, but like outwards. And then we're going to grab our green again and bring it inwards. So it's kind of making like a V. We're going to do that on the left side now. So we're going to grab our purple, come to the middle of where the two oranges are, or where that glow green is connected, and lay your purple diagonal. And then from there, the glow green. I find it easier to kind of lay all three bands at once. So like the orange, the purple, and then the green. But I mean, you can lay it in whatever order you want. Just pay close attention because it can be easy to mess the order up. So we're going to repeat that sequence again. We're going to lay the orange going straight. We're going to come back and lay the purple. And then the green will go inwards. We're going to do the left bar pin. So we're going to lay the orange going straight. We're going to lay the purple. And then bring the green in. So we'll repeat that again. So I'll lay my orange. You can actually go ahead and just lay both oranges. That's probably a little faster. So we'll lay both oranges straight. Then we will lay our diagonal purple and then the green. I do think you should lay both of those at the same time so you don't mess that order up. We'll do the same on the left. So lay your purple and bring the green in. Repeating that again. I'm going to show you guys that one more time. So I'm going to grab my purple, lay that going diagonal out, and the green going in. Do that on the left. Purple goes out, and green goes in. So you're going to keep repeating this down the loom until you have one empty pin left on the two middle rows. So you're going to be stopping one short of the very end. So I'm going to keep laying mine, and then I will show you what mine looks like when I get down there. Okay, so I jumped ahead, so you'll definitely need to hit pause. But what I want to point out to you when you get down to the end, like I showed you, you're going to have one empty pin here on both of the center rows. But what you also want to make sure of is that the last band that you laid is going to be the glow green, which is the diagonal band that comes like backwards. So in other words, do not lay a purple one connecting here to where your border ended, because we're going to actually lay our border color right there, and we're going to do that right now. So grab whatever color you used for your border up here at the beginning. So that's where my white is. And we're going to close this off down here. So where the second row ended, you're just going to connect that to where the middle bands ended right there. And then we're going to do the same on the right side. So this is where my border ended. This is where the bands we just laid ended. And we're just going to connect them like that. So we're going to grab one more of that same white border, and I'm going to lay a cat band on one of these two center pins. It really doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to lay it on this right one right here, like so. We're going to end up stretching that over, but not right now. So we're going to come back to the beginning, and we have to lay one more set of bands. It's going to be cat bands specifically, and you don't see them a whole lot, but if you flip the bracelet over, it is a little bit seen back here. A little bit. Not really. So we're going to lay cat bands. So we're going to come down to the second pin down on the third bar in from the right. And we're going to start laying a cat band on each one of those pins. We're going to stretch it over later. Or next, I should say, after we're done laying them. But we're just doing a regular cat band wrapped around 2 times. So go all the way down this until you reach the one that has the white one. Like so. So we're going to go ahead and turn our loom around now and grab your hook, and we're going to stretch these cat bands over to the closest pin next to it. It will be on a diagonal angle. So I'm going to start with my border cat band and just stretch it over like so. And now I'm just going to work up this row, stretching it over all the way up. Like that, just connecting the 2 sides. Alright, so I thought I'd give you a quick peek. This is what it looks like once they're all stretched over. So we're going to come back to the beginning, and now we're ready to start looping. I do just want to say, because I originally designed this design with the bars all aligned, it is going to look a little strange when we go to loop. Specifically, the right side is going to look a little strange, but it's only because I changed the loom setup to be the same as the Mega Loom. So to start looping, we're going to come right into this center cat band right here, and we're going to grab the top white border band. We're going to loop it down, and we're going to do the same on the other side, looping it down. That's all we're going to loop right now with the border. So we're going to be working with the purple bands, and we're just going to be flipping them over the cat band. So you're going to grab this purple right here. It's the band that's diagonally facing downwards. We're just going to grab it, and you're going to flip it over the pin behind it, and it gets caught on the cat band. We're going to do the same on the right side, but this side's going to look a little different because of the way the pin is. So we're just going to go left and right, grabbing that purple and flipping it behind the cat band. We're going to do that all the way up. If you want to just go up the left side and then come back and do the right, just make sure you don't miss any. So it looks like that. Once both sides are all flipped, make sure you didn't forget any. We're going to come to the beginning, and we're going to still work with just the purple, but we're going to be bringing them in from the outside rows and connecting it into the inner ones. So I'm going to start on this bright one right here, and you're just grabbing that purple, bringing it in and connecting it to the pin that it was coming from. And I'm going to do the left side as well. We're going to come up to the next two and do the same thing, just grabbing the top purple that's in there and connecting it to the pin closest to it. Or that it was coming from, rather. So it's looking like that. If it's easier for you to just go up one side and then come back and do the other, you can certainly do that. You just want to take your time because you don't want to lose this purple because if it unravels, it is hard to figure out how to get it connected correctly back on. So get all of your purples looped in like this, and then I will show you what we're going to do next. So I jumped ahead. Once you have them all looped in, it will look like that. So we're going to come back to the beginning, and we're going to loop the glow green now, which are these diagonal bands. They're not going to be getting looped back to themselves. They're going to be getting looped to the row below it. So we're going to go ahead and just do one side. We're going to start on this pin right here, grabbing the diagonal glow green, and you're going to loop it to the pin underneath of it. So it was coming from this one. You're not going to loop it there. You're going to come to the one under it. So we're going to come up to the next one, which is right here. And if you're ever confused, you can see that there isn't any glow green left back on this pin, so you just come up to the next one. Now there are a few layers that you have to move here in order to get the glow green. I believe there's 2 layers, but the cat band is quite thick, so you really got to move it. Make sure you're grabbing the correct glow green, and you're going to loop it diagonally down to this pin here. So this is where we just looped that. So I'm just going to back up and then come up one more pin. And that's where our next one is. Zoom in here. So I'm right here. I'm going to push the purple with the cat band out of the way and grab the glow green and loop it diagonally down. I'm going to back up one and then up a pin, and that's where my next one is. We're just going to do this all the way up until all of our glow green are looped out. I find it easier to just work on one row at a time for this part instead of going back and forth. But you can do whatever's easier for you, of course. And just so you guys know, we are in December now. Well, technically we're not going to be in December when I upload this, but we're almost going to be in December. And I will have, when I release a video December 5th, it will not be a Christmas one, but I don't want you guys to worry. I do have 2 Christmas charms coming out in December. So one will be December 12th and one will be on the 19th. Alrighty, so this is what it looks like. I have that right side all done. I'm going to come down and we're going to do the left side, which is the exact same process. So we're going to start by going into the cat band and grabbing the first glow green and looping it down to here. Come up to the next one and repeat and loop it down. So you're going to do the same thing that you just did on the other side. So go ahead and get all of these looped back, and then I will meet you back here. So once you reach the top, this is what it will look like. So now we're going to come to the beginning and we're going to start looping the glow orange. We're going to loop the glow orange, and then we're going to have to flip some of the purples. And this part is very similar to my Scorpio bracelet, the steps are. So we're going to grab this left one first. You always want to cross the X in the same manner. So if you're someone that usually crosses the right and then the left, just make sure you do that all the way up. I always cross the left first and then the right. So I'm going to grab the left. We're going to cross it up here diagonally to the right. Oh, there we go. And then I'll grab the right one and cross that over to the left, like that. So now we need to flip a purple band, and there's two ways that you can do this. So it is the first purple that's sitting right there. You can either try to grab it right here, but I do find that sometimes it's hard to get a hold of it. You have to make sure you're only grabbing one, the one that's on top, and then flipping it over and sitting it in front of the pin. Or you can come right here, like in the middle. You have to push that top orange out of the way, enough for you to be able to get your hook under there to grab it. Like that. And then flip it over. So you can do it either one of those ways as long as you're grabbing the topmost purple. If you end up grabbing like the second or third, the bracelet will still work. It just gives it a little bit of a different look because I tested that. So you'll be fine either way. I just liked this look better. So we're going to go on this pin right here, grab the very bottom orange, and we're going to cross it again. So bring it up, and then grab this one and cross it over to the left. And we're going to flip that purple again. So if you want to go in the middle here, reach underneath to grab that purple and then flip it. Or like I said, you can grab it from the outside and flip it. I guess both are kind of the same, so whatever's more comfortable for you. We're going to cross our X and flip the purple. I'm going to sit it down so I can get a good grip. I usually don't do it that way, so I'm going to do it my way. So yeah, we're just going to alternate looping the orange and flipping the purple. I've actually had this design sitting around for so long. But I did have something a little different. It was one step different. And I went to make, I always test out like different versions of a design and choose the one I like the best. And I was testing out a different version and I accidentally looped this middle part differently, actually the green bands. And I liked it a lot better. So I was like, you know what? We're going to go with this version. This part takes a little bit of patience. I cannot believe Christmas is already here. Like, I feel like I was just handing out Halloween candy and now I'm Christmas shopping already. It was just like, bam, here already. Alright, so I'm going to go off camera and finish getting this looped. You guys get yours done and then I'll show you what we are going to do next. Alright, so this is what mine looks like. Once you're caught up, come back to the beginning and all we have left to do is the border. So we're going to work on one side at a time for this and we're going to come down to the second row right here. We're going to go in, push everything on top out of the way so that you're grabbing the very bottom glow purple. And we're going to be looping this up. It's going to be a long diagonal stretch up to the second pin that has bands on it on the outer row. So nice long stretch. Then you're going to back up a pin. We're going to grab the bottom band here and we're going to stretch it up 2 pins on the left bar pin. And we're going to keep alternating that. So I just connected it there. So we're going to back up. Once again, grab the very bottom band. You're going to stretch it up and connect it to this one up here. So you should always be stretching it up, like not to the one it's coming from, but to the one past it. So we just looped that there. We're going to back up. I'm going to reach in, grab the bottom band, which is my white. Do a long diagonal stretch. Back up, grab your next one. You're going to go right and left like this. So just back up from the one that you're looping from to grab the next one. And we're going to go back and forth, crossing it. I am used to making this so I can move fast, but you're going to want to take your time if you've never done this because it will be easy to miss a band if you're too fast. And if you do miss one, unfortunately, it will fall apart. So just really take your time so you don't waste all your time. So I was right here. So here's where my band's in on the right. I looped this one last, so it came up and connected to the border. So I'm going to back up one last time. And this second to last pin is just going to go back to itself, which is to the right. So that corner one. From there to there. From there, we're going to go in and grab the bottom border. And you're just going to loop it in 2 times. Like that. And stop right there. Then you're going to come do the same thing on the left side. I'll get you started. So we're going to come into this pin right here and grab the bottom glow purple and do the long diagonal stretch. Back up, grab my white and do the opposite direction. So go ahead and get the left side laid, and then when I get to the top, I will loom that with you. So hit the pause button if you need to, but I'm just showing you when I'm at the second to last pin on this second row in. You're doing the same thing like you did on the other side and just bringing it back to the pin that it was coming from, which is to that corner. We're going to finish looping the border. So we're going to go into this corner, grab the bottom band, if I can get it. There we go. Loop it in and loop it down. And that horizontal band or diagonal band that's kind of horizontal in there is the one that is going to be the band that we attach our C-clip or extension to. So you're going to want to reach in here, grab the very bottom, do the same right here and bring both ends together. And you can either slide a hook in it or temporarily C-clip it if you're going to make an extension like me. But I do recommend that you use your hook and release all of the sides, because this is a very tight bracelet. You will not be able to just yank this off. So when you do take it off of the loom, it's going to be like curled in. So you will want to grab both sides and do a good stretch. It will not hurt it. It will actually help it. So just stretch it out like that. And it usually fixes itself really nicely. When my bracelet is longer, like this length, after I stretch it left to right, I do kind of bend it like this if I'm going to wear it on this side. So if you're going to wear it on this side, I bend it that way. So that's just a tip for you. It wears great on both sides. So you will definitely need to make an extension if you only did the 1 loom length. I'm not going to make an extension today, but I highly recommend that you do a fishtail extension instead of a single chain because it's much tighter and this is a tight design. So I would recommend either using the auto loom or you can even use your hook. There's many different ways that you can do that. If you just want to make a regular single chain extension, you just lay the bands in a zigzag like that. Then you would turn it around. You would attach your bracelet right here. And then you would loom the zigzag up, looping them back to themselves. So I'm not going to show that today, but I will have a video down in the description box if you're not sure how to do that. But that is it. That is how you create my Sucre bracelet. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, please make sure you let me know down below. And tag me on Instagram if you guys use Instagram and you make one. If you don't and you use Facebook, because I've been hearing a lot about that, you can also message me over there. So that's it for today, you guys. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon at my next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.